All right, let's dive into a geopolitical story that is just wild. We're talking about a really strange, almost unbelievable alliance between Donald Trump and Egypt's President Sisi. It makes you wonder, right? What in the world did Trump want from Egypt? And more importantly, what did Sisi manage to get out of the deal? The answer? Well, it pulls back the curtain on a massive power play for the future of Gaza.
And look, this isn't some rumor from a tabloid. This is the word on the street coming straight out of political circles inside Israel. Just think about that for a second. It's a shocking admission that the entire game has changed and a new player is suddenly calling all the shots.
So the big question is, how did this happen? How did Cairo, seemingly overnight, become the most important player in this whole situation? To get that, you first have to understand the incredible pressure the guy in the White House was under.
Yeah, this whole thing really kicks off with a president who was in some serious political trouble. The war in Gaza was becoming a huge headache for him, and Donald Trump needed a win, and he needed it fast. You see, Trump was facing a full-blown crisis at home. His support was slipping because he was backing Netanyahu's handling of the war. And with congressional elections right around the corner, the threat of a major political loss was very, very real. He was basically cornered. So this was never just about peace in the Middle East. For Trump, it was about his own political survival.
And that's where this Sharm el-Sheikh agreement comes into play. I mean, sure, on paper it's a peace plan, but what it really was Trump's emergency escape hatch. It was a strategy to stop the political bleeding and grab that big foreign policy victory he so desperately needed.
Now, to make this whole thing work, the agreement set up this really unique power structure. 2 different councils, both designed to manage Gaza's future. And this right here is where you can start to see Egypt's brilliant maneuvering.
So you have the Peace Council, which is led by Trump himself, dealing with all the high-level political stuff. But then you've got the Executive Council. This is the one that's actually going to get things done on the ground. And it's this second council where the real power is and where the story gets really, really good.
So who's sitting at this powerful table? Well, you've got the usual suspects: foreign ministers, high-level diplomats from Turkey, Qatar, the UAE, a senior coordinator from the UN, and then there's Egypt's guy. Not a diplomat, not a foreign minister, nope. They sent General Hassan Rashad, the chief of general intelligence, the spy master.
Now that was no accident. Egypt was sending a loud and clear message. While everybody else was talking politics and diplomacy, Cairo was playing chess. They were focused on intelligence, on security, on control. And that move immediately set off alarm bells, especially in one city.
Israel's reaction was fast, and it was direct. They sent an official objection straight to the White House. The message couldn't have been more blunt. We do not like this man. This wasn't just some formal protest. You could feel the fear in those words. They knew exactly who General Rashad was.
And there's a good reason they were scared. In the Israeli media, General Rashad is known as the man whose smile is more terrifying than his anger. He's seen as this shadow man, a master operative who has consistently outmaneuvered Israeli intelligence for years. Putting him on that council? That was like calling checkmate before the first move was even made.
So, with their key player perfectly positioned on the board, Egypt went on to secure a whole series of incredible wins in this agreement, completely flipping the balance of power on its head.
Okay, I want you to just look at this number for a second. 15,000. What does that even represent? It's not about money, it's not about aid packages. No, it's something way, way more important.
That number, it's 15,000 Palestinian soldiers, all trained and equipped by Egypt, and they're set to become the main security force inside a new Gaza. Just think about what that means. Cairo gets direct influence, maybe even control, over the future of security in the Strip. It's a massive, massive strategic win.
But wait, there's more. The deal also gave Egypt an internationally approved military presence on the ground. It gave them control over Gaza's future, and maybe the biggest prize of all, it gave them the power to broker direct talks between Hamas and the United States, completely cutting out Israel and dealing straight with Washington, an absolute masterstroke.
So, let's go all the way back to our original question. Did Sisi accept Trump's proposal? The answer is so clear now. He didn't just accept it, he molded it, he dominated it, and he used Trump's political desperation to score a truly historic victory for Egypt.
And the result of all of this? A completely new geopolitical reality, where, against all odds, Egypt has come out on top as the central power broker in this entire conflict.
So what made it all possible? Well, a lot of it came down to the personal vibe between the two leaders. The source says Trump's thinking was pretty simple. He respects a strong man.
He saw Sisi as a tough guy who would actually keep his word. And that trust is what opened the door for Egypt to come in with a plan that, frankly, served America's interests a lot better than Netanyahu's failing one.
A pretty powerful metaphor started going around to describe what happened. For the first time ever, Washington basically looked at its 51st state and told it to step aside. America's own interests, now guided by Cairo's playbook, were taking priority.
I mean, this is a total 180. For decades, the big decisions were always hammered out between Washington and Tel Aviv, but Netanyahu's failures created a power vacuum, and Egypt just masterfully stepped in, perfectly aligning its goals with Trump's needs. The new center of gravity isn't Washington or Tel Aviv anymore, it's Cairo.
Which of course leaves us with one final nagging question. In this incredibly complex shadow game, with its spy masters, its political lifelines, its shocking new alliances, who is really playing who? As all the pieces keep moving on this new board, that's the one thing we're all going to be watching.